Hey, everybody.
Hey.
It's time for Lizard Brains.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it has. I had to figure some shit out. Hopefully now we could... I know I said it last episode, but hopefully now we could be on a more regular schedule. How have you been, pal?
Bruh, I've been alright. What with the pandemic that's been happening, I have been learning the limits to how long I can go without actually touching a human being. So far, it's been maddening, insanity-inducing. How have you been?
Yeah. Yes. You know, I'm still getting acclimated to my new place. Still getting acclimated to the new area, figuring things out, trying to find a D&D group, something just to kind of occupy time when I'm not doing a Ghoulman show or what have you. I just recently rearranged my living room, so now I finally have like the entertainment center that I've wanted since a boy.
Hell yeah. Welcome to being an adult.
Yeah, it's great.
Make your own fucking choices.
Yeah, I have. So when I moved out here, the only thing that broke was my TV, and then I went and I bought another TV because I had to. So I have this giant 60-inch TV in my living room.
All right.
Hooked up to a Technic stereo from the 80s. That is hooked up to a turntable, a cassette deck, a CD player, and then giant DJing speakers. So everything I watch is in 4K. Everything I watch is 60 frames, and it sounds great. I haven't played video games with it yet, because I don't know what to play. But soon.
I mean, what you need to play is obvious. You need to play Tetris.
I knew you were going to fucking say that. Yeah.
Tetris I should. Like Pokemon Red.
Yeah, I got to play something real old on it.
Oh my god,
I do have a Super Nintendo. I did bring a Super Nintendo. I might play Street Fighter on it. That might be the first thing I play.
Dude, Donkey Kong Country.
Don't have Donkey Kong Country. It's very expensive.
That I believe. I'm picturing the music coming through.
Yeah.
But, funnily enough, Donkey Kong Country is about a giant gorilla. And in theaters right now, we have a giant gorilla fighting Godzilla, which brings us to talking about Godzilla.
Fucking great segue. You didn't see it, right?
No, I've been avidly trying to avoid all trailers, which is harder than you think.
Yes.
Speaking of, holy shit, I'm so excited about the new Mortal Kombat coming out.
I think it's out.
It's coming out April 23rd. It was originally coming out April 16th, which would have been great because that's the same day I get my second dose of that hot vaccine.
What company are you getting?
Pfizer, I believe.
Nice.
I'm of the Mighty Morphin Pfizer Rangers.
I got myself an HBO account just to watch the new, just because it's where it's on for a month. I guess as like theaters are slowly starting to open as more people are getting vaccinated. It's on HBO for a month. I watched it last night with my buddy Kyle and Marcus. It fucking rocks. It fucking rocks, dude. It's so good. Like, I don't want to ruin anything, but there's like there's a lot of moments where I was just giggling like a child. I was like, he's fucking doing it. Like, it was just like there's one scene in it that I didn't see coming, and I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Like, it was dude. What's up?
We'll get there.
Yeah. And I would say that on this episode, do not read the comments unless somebody comments about this new movie. But dude, it rocks. It's so good. It's so much fun. It's like people were saying like, oh, like every review, it's not my favorite of the new TriStar Godzilla movies. My favorite is still the last one. And I think a lot of that has to do with who I saw it with, where I was. You know what I mean? Like, I saw it in the theater. Like, I saw it with my mom and my brother. Like, there's a lot of like little references and stuff that really got me excited. The music is better in that one too. Okay. The dude who's doing the music in the new one isn't the guy who did it in the second one. It was Bear McCreary in the second one, and now it's some other guy.
Fair enough. Well, I mean, like, that's a lot of why, like, I avidly hate Inglourious Bastards. But definitely part of that is because I was going through a breakup in the theater while watching the movie.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. I mean, really it was for the best. But also, like, the movie itself isn't that great. It's just because I was going through a breakup, my fucking Tarantino goggles weren't on.
It went from being a 6 to a 3 just because of that.
Yeah, exactly. But I like Django.
That sucks.
I like Django just fine.
I could talk about Django all day. I love that fucking movie.
Like, there are parts of it that I hate, but for the most part, fucking awesome. Anyway, none of those movies
have anything to do with Godzilla. I would love to see a Tarantino-directed Godzilla, because, like, a big thing that everyone complains about, and this one, the one we're going to talk about, Son of Godzilla, the 8th Godzilla movie, definitely, the human plot is kind of weak.
That's a way of putting it.
We'll get into it a little later.
Yeah.
Let me just open up a thing quick, because I forgot the format.
The thing about a Tarantino-directed Godzilla is the rock kicking will be a lot more sensuous.
Because he likes feet!
And, like,
God.
I don't know how they would incorporate the trunk shot either.
Oh, that would be so simple. If they... Okay, so here's my pitch for Tarantino Godzilla. It's a remake of the first one.
Okay.
And the trunk shot is Dr. Shirazawa showing them the oxygen destroyer.
Oh, that's not
so they're like, we need some way to defeat Godzilla, and the sad doctor man, the meteor, not the meteorologist, what's his name? Geologist, animal man.
Yeah.
He kind of like he's like not into it when he sees the oxygen destroyer, but he's like, come on, this is what we got to do.
Yeah, and actually, I'll one-up you on that very scene. In the trunk shot, in the background, have Godzilla raising some hell. Like,
yeah.
You know, like...
Oh, that's really cool, actually.
Yeah,
but if Tarantino does it, he has to do a suit. Like, I feel like he would do a suit. Because he would be like, yeah, you know what, we're gonna make this movie. It's gonna be just like it was in the 60s and the 70s. When cinema was at its finest, and I was doing a ton of cocaine. Like, he's just gonna... Like, that's what he's gonna do.
And actually, honestly, this will probably be the first Godzilla movie that I've seen where the dialogue isn't, like, real hard to watch.
Yeah. But, like, that's the thing is with the new ones, what I'm getting at with the new ones is that everybody is always saying, like, not enough monster, too much people, too much monster, not enough people. And it's like, did you never watch a Godzilla movie? Like, the best ones are always the ones that have, like, a fair balance, or, if anything, more Godzilla than people. Like, the people are just there, so, like, to make sense of what's going on, really. But you're there for the suit.
Yeah, you're there to watch giant monsters fuck each other up.
Yeah.
You truly do not give a shit about the love life of any of these people.
No, that's why the only recurring character is in the first and second one, and it's the doctor, the sad doctor man.
Yeah. And hold on, he did come back in one of the other ones, right? And then
I'm pretty sure he's just in the first one and raids again. I don't think he's in Godzilla versus King Kong.
I seem to remember him coming back just so he could say his, like, environmental.
That was in raids again.
Was that? Oh,
yeah, because
it's a much bigger role.
No, because the first two are the only two that are black and white. Godzilla versus King Kong is the first one in color.
Yeah,
and if I remember,
use that color.
And if I remember correctly, he only shows up when he talks about how Anguirus is another kind of, like, not Mesolithic. He's another like dinosaur type thing.
Yeah, prehistoric,
I know,
whatever.
That's the word. Thank you. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. He's a prehistoric monster, the Ankylosaurus, and he's not really in it for very long. I don't even. I'd be surprised if he was on the poster. Like, I have the 54 Godzilla poster next to me in my living room. I haven't hung it up yet, but it's, like, in my room.
Getting there.
Yeah, it went from my bedroom to my living room, so I'm getting there. And he's in the corner, and I don't think he's in the other one.
Huh.
But
right.
Yeah, I'm saying in the poster. But yeah.
Anyway,
I don't even have a write up for this one. And I'll be completely honest. I have written here in my notes Redbubble update. I don't remember if I did or did not do an update. Redbubble said that we couldn't do the Lizard Brains logo, so that's not there. But they allowed me to do Godzilla's head.
Huh. Wait, what's wrong with our logo?
No, they said it's too close to something like Toho copywrote it or copyrighted it or something. And
Got you.
Which makes no sense because yes, it's done in the style of the original logo, but I thought it was far enough. Like we use a font in it that looks like honestly the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle font a little bit. And it's not. Like I know definitively it is not. But it looks like it, and the Godzilla head kind of looks a little like it looks like Godzilla's head. But that was within the 10%, so of being different, so there was nothing said about it.
So what I'm hearing is we're running a contest for who can design our logo?
Yeah, if somebody wants to send... I mean, I'm really partial to the logo we have now, because Olive made it, and I kind of really sketched it out, and I just love it because of what it is. If somebody wants to make an alternative logo, go right ahead. I'm not going to stop you.
Yeah, please send it to us at...
Yeah. In the Discord. Yes. Link to the Discord in the description below. But I don't have a write-up for this movie. I thought I did. I don't. Is this it?
I mean...
No, this is for Ibera.
To be fair, this is not good.
This isn't a good one. No. Let's just move right on into... Let's talk about it without spoiling it. But this one's not great. And I don't want to dismiss it instantly by saying it's not great as the whole thing is bad. The suit work, great. The slapstick, great. The monsters, great. The fighting, great. Everything else, the sets, great.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, there's a lot of good in this. It's just not the writing.
Yeah, the now that I have an HBO account, or the acting, and now that I have an HBO account, the original Showa era, this is a Showa era film, the first 15 are Showa. Mm-hmm. They're on HBO, and they're the Criterion Collection.
Hell yes.
And that means, I don't know if you know this, but if you film something in film, like now that we're at 4K, by the time we hit 6, 8, 10, 11 plus 1, 45K, because it's done in film, it can be scaled up.
Oh,
so these movies on my fucking 4K TV are beautiful. Like,
I believe that.
You can see that it's more of a... There's actually... I have written down in my notes somewhere, the first fight that happens, there's a really, really cool shot where the camera kind of like zooms out, pans up, and pans down. Mm-hmm. And for a split second, you can see the stage. You can see the lighting.
That's crazy.
I don't know if it's because it's been upscaled or if that's just the way it was. Because now, as we get deeper into the Showa era, they keep reusing footage from past movies to kind of fill gaps.
All right.
So I don't know if it's so much that the budget is going down, or if it's just these, like, we only get one shot because there's these huge bug props. There's these huge, like, the guy in the suit. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
You kind of hit this. We're starting to hit that kind of cheesy, campy value that I feel like really takes off in the Heisei era, which is this. I forget how many movies, but like the Heisei era ends with like giant robots and shit.
All right.
Yeah,
I can get down with that.
No, and it's great. Like I'm not saying like I prefer the I'm sorry, the Heisei era. The Showa era. The Heisei era ends with that. I prefer Showa because I think I just like older cinema.
Valid.
But, like, these movies look great, dude. But the thing is, like, you can see that, like, you can see the boards. Like, you can see that, like, this is a painted wall. Like, you can see that it's plywood painted. You can see kind of the strings and stuff because everything's being upscaled. And you can't hide behind the grain so much.
I mean, that is the disadvantage. Like, they were shooting for what they could get away with at the time, and now suddenly they can't. And they just couldn't.
Like, it adds more to it for me.
Fair.
Like, it to me, because it's a product of its time, like, you're not going to sit there and be like, this is a piece of shit because it was made in the 60s. This is a piece of shit because it's, like, a movie's a piece of shit because it's a piece of shit. Like, not because... not because of the time it comes from. And these are just... Everything but the human acting in this movie is great. I'll just say it. Like, and I don't want that to deter anybody from watching this, because if you could watch, like, not a director's cut, but if I could make my own cut, it would be a lot. It'd be like a 35-minute movie.
We should
and it
do
would
that
be
at
mostly
some
fight
point.
scenes. It'd be a lot of fun if we could edit all of them together.
Dude, fucking, that sounds like a project.
Yeah.
Because, like, the only two real, like, I had a few issues with this film. The acting, the writing, and the editing were all terrible.
I didn't so much care for, not that I didn't care about the editing or I cared about the editing. I was kind of indifferent on it.
Well, there's an entire scene where it's unclear as to how much time has passed because the way they cut it, it could have been a week of people standing in the jungle or 25 minutes of people standing in the jungle.
Absolutely,
and, like,
with you.
I don't know. Anyway, so let's see. What is how to describe this movie without spoiling anything? Is there anything in this movie worth spoiling?
Exactly. What is there to spoil when the human plot is so uninteresting and there isn't really any twists or turns? Like, I feel like we can kind of seamlessly blend spoiler-free talk with spoiler talk. I just want to say real quick. Mm-hmm. This is from 1967. So think about, like, I love the idea of thinking about where the world was in 67.
True.
And how there was, like, you couldn't call Tokyo. Like, you might be able to, but no, I don't even think you could. Maybe
60s.
Maybe like radio. You could radio probably, but you couldn't call. But you had to be part of the news or you had to be part of the military to do so.
True. There were no satellites.
No, there wasn't. And they're like So the world is a much smaller place in the 60s. And especially at this point, and like now I could hop on the internet and talk to somebody in Japan in no time. I could hop in a Discord. Oh, hey, anybody from Japan? Oh, hey, me over here. Cool. What's your favorite Godzilla? Like now, like this is the world. This is Japan's kind of look into the world in a sense. And I'm not saying that Japan thinks that the world is giant lizards. I'm saying that it's like this is them reaching out to other parts of the world. This is them saying like, hey, this is what we see. This is a lot of people's first introduction to Godzilla, to Japan. A lot of these movies would be played at drive-ins, like really cheap drive-ins, as like buffer movies and stuff. There was a theory with the first Godzilla. The first Godzilla didn't do well in America, and there was a theory that the original Japanese dub was completely lost for a really, really, really long time because they just didn't have film preservation. So what I'm saying is, like, yeah, this movie isn't great, but also think about the time and the place that the world was at when it came out.
I mean, that's fair. And like, I'm not gonna hold it low.
Sorry, I thought of, when I said that, what I thought of was, my next thought was, look where we are. It's 2021 and we have a podcast about a lot of people that are dead. Like, a lot of people that worked on this are probably dead at this point because Godzilla turns 70 in 3 years.
Damn.
You know what I mean? So my next thought was, in the new Godzilla vs. Kong, there is a character who has a monster hunting podcast. And he is my favorite character in the movie. And I watched it with Kyle. And Kyle, that's me! That's what I do!
I can relate. See, representation matters.
Yeah, and he's the best character. Remember when we saw Joker, the black dude who gives him the file on his backstory?
Oh, yeah.
That dude, he has a podcast about.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he has a podcast about Godzilla, and they refer to the monsters not as kaiju but as titans. And that's for the whole like MonsterVerse series, because even Kong is part of that. We will watch Kong on this show. We will review Kong Skull Island because I have still yet to see it.
Same.
And I think we should do, for a holiday special, we should watch the original 30s King Kong. Or did we?
British Mechagodzilla hero chat to thank Paytreeon in it. We have to thank a few blokes for their support. First off Noah, secondly Danny, third Bones Jones, and lastly Girth Brooks. Also, shout out to Vigil Beats for our theme song. All links to him below. Pip pip cheerio, God save the Queen, tea and biscuits. Oi, 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 football.
No, he wants Frankenstein.
But actually, funnily enough, I think this is a Christmas movie.
Haha, yeah. You want to get into the spoilers?
Let's get, this is less we're talking about spoilers and more we're just going to not give a shit about talking about spoilers. Because
I don't even know what happened. Like, the last movie, they fucking stole the boat.
Right? This one... this movie is imminently forgettable. There was definitely a part in this movie that I caught myself fully not paying attention. Bear in mind, I only have the one monitor now, so it wasn't like I was surfing the internet. I just was spacing out, staring at the only screen in front of me, because, the humans are boring.
You know what? I'll be honest with you. We were supposed to record this a little while ago. Yeah. And then something came up. And I had watched it that day, and wrote my notes down. And then today, before we started recording, I was editing something else, and I was like, okay, I should watch this. And I put it on. I got about half an hour in, and I got done editing, and I lay down on my couch, and then the next thing you know, I woke up and I was asleep. So I fell asleep during it, and then before we started recording, I had it on in the background without the sound on. And I feel like I got just as much out of it without the sound on, because I just didn't pay attention to the humans and watch the cool monster fights.
Yeah, that is fully fucking fair. The role of humans in these movies typically is to explain to people who don't speak monster kind of what's going on, and also to set up obstacles for our giant monsters.
Yes, but that being said, it's not like the human story isn't good. The Mothra story is great just because it's like...
Oh, yeah.
They talk about the greed, and we want to do this, and we want to do that, and the twins show up, and they're like, you can't do that. It's not to say that the human element of the story isn't good, but this just feels like two movies that got put together.
Honestly, I do not think that at all. There are definitely Godzilla movies out there that felt like that.
Put together? You think so?
Yes.
See, this one... Go on, sorry.
Yeah, you're good. Specifically, the one that had Rodan in it, I think. I talked about how it felt like two different movies.
Yes. Which one was that? Was that Ghidra?
Might have been Ghidra. I'm not super sure. It's been a while. Actually, I should probably go back and rewatch things. Since I've seen them now, I can go back and rewatch them. But this one felt very much like they wrote the awesome Godzilla movie, and then they were like, well, this is only 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Wait, oh yeah, humans. We should put humans. What do humans do again? Well, we have doctors, I guess, and reporters. Fuck it. Improv. Guys, just make it up.
You see that? Yeah. I'm with you, because what I like about this movie is Godzilla, there's two different versions. I wound up watching the Criterion version on HBO is the dubbed version. I'm sorry, the subbed version. And the version that I sent you, I'm pretty sure, is the dubbed version.
Yes, I watched the dubbed version.
Okay, so I watched both, because I originally watched that version first. Then I had HBO, saw that it was here, and I was like, fuck yeah. I also want to point out real quick, because I'm looking at some of the... Sorry to do this to you, but I'm looking at some of the other the movies on HBO right now. And one of my favorites, Godzilla vs. Megalon, which we're still a few movies out, does not have Godzilla or Megalon in the cover. Which is fucking phenomenal. But...
That's pretty neat.
This, to me... Where was I going? I'm sorry. I'm going to cut that out.
I don't know. I was following you regardless.
Oh, so the way this felt to me was very much like... Okay, so what... Oh, I know where I'm going. So, in the first version that I watched, that was the wrong version, quote-unquote wrong version, Godzilla shows up in the first 9 fucking seconds. After the credits and everything, Godzilla's in it. 9 seconds. The other version, it's a minute 16.
Yes, actually, a minute and 13 seconds, if you count the lightning strike where you see his back.
Oh, I don't think I did, because I have 1:16 written down here.
like it makes a difference.
Yeah, no, I know, but like I like seeing when he shows up.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's just me. But then it's like you don't see another monster for like 35, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm like, that's why to me it felt like that made it feel like two movies put together. Because those people in the plane, you don't fucking see them ever again.
Nope. In fact,
they're just there to be there.
Yeah,
they're there to set up that wavy graph thing.
Yes,
that's actually, what they're there for.
This is the movie that is the invention of dubstep. This movie is how dubstep ruined. Dubstep was weaponized.
Fuck you.
Japan did it first. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Skrillex. I'm sorry, Deadmau5. You are all fake fans. Godzilla is the original.
Do you like dubstep?
I mean, there is good music in every genre. You just got to find it.
There's a documentary I've been meaning to watch on YouTube called All My Homies Hate Skrillex, and it's about dubstep and like where it was before that era and now.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've been meaning to watch it, but I just haven't.
Yeah, there was a time in my life where I was very willing to just hate artists because that's what I was supposed to do, and then I realized that, that means I'm easily manipulated. I'm actually going to, like, listen to things and see if I like them.
Yeah. I'm with you. I still kind of have that in me for pop music. Not all pop music, but I think a lot of it is because I feel like, this is a product. It's not art.
Yeah, and also the thing about pop music is, regardless of whether or not I seek it out, I will fucking hear it. So,
that's the other thing. So, yeah.
So,
I'm just trying to drive to work. I don't want to hear Demi Lovato.
Great, Taylor Swift, again.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't have to seek out pop music. It will find me. It's like every fucking factoid I've ever gotten about the fucking Kardashians. I never wanted to learn a single thing about the Kardashians. And boy howdy... Anyway,
boy howdy what?
Boy howdy do I know way more about them than I have any right to, considering I, legitimately do not care.
But speaking about these giant monsters that you don't care about, how did you feel about the mantises?
I thought they were kind of cool and creative. I loved that they were puppets.
Okay.
Like, the puppet work in this movie is fantastic.
Isn't it? It's great.
Yeah, the design...
they're okay.
It was all right. But also, again, the puppetry was great. The way they animated and did things was really cool. Their motivations were bizarre.
They just kind of were there to be there.
Yeah, and I know that it's sort of a thing that I hate the science that goes on in these movies.
Yeah.
Which, do not get me wrong. I am more than willing to suspend my disbelief for the sake of a good story. The thing about it is, this makes literally no goddamn sense. What the fuck are they doing?
See, what are they doing? You're way more anal about the science. Me, I'm just when I think of myself science fiction, I'm willing to I don't know, maybe it's just the way that I see movies, but I remember the way I learned how to say science or fiction is fake and nonfiction is real is just fiction fake, non-fake. You know what I mean? So I think maybe seeing the word science and fiction next to each other, they could be like, the sun runs on blue. What does that mean? It runs on blue. And I'm like, all right, I'm in it. I can, because I know it's a movie, I can be like, okay, cool.
So
sun runs on blue now. Totally
unrelated. If we really ever want to get into art house movies, there's a movie called Blue. But
really?
If you want to get into bizarre shit.
I do personally.
Okay, then I recommend you watch the movie Blue, and maybe after watching it, do some research about the guy who made it.
Okay.
It's fascinating. I will spoil nothing.
Okay. Who did it?
Fuck.
It's not a big deal if you don't know right now. You said looking at the guy, so I thought maybe you knew.
No, not off the top of my head. I'm terrible with names.
You recording?
Yes, I'm still recording.
Yeah. Just making sure.
Anyway, but this, the thing about putting science in your movie is if you're going to establish rules for your universe has to play by those rules, which is why X-Men, scientifically totally impossible, but They establish the rules for how their powers work, and they follow those rules.
I'm with you.
This
So
one...
okay, so here's the science that bothers me in this movie. Godzilla is not a mammal. Godzilla is not, or is he a mammal? I would think he's not mammal, right? Yeah. So he would lay an egg. Here's my other part. His name is Godzilla.
Yeah. He's
referred to as he. Who laid this egg? And that egg is massive.
Yeah, who fucked Godzilla?
This
is important.
The size of the cloaca on Femalezilla.
Right?
Like, that's a big-ass egg. Like, that's the only thing that really bothered me is...
Also, or can they reproduce asexually? Like, is the fact that we call him King of Monsters, is that just because of gendered language? Like, is it possible that he's just...
I see what you're saying.
That Godzilla is actually non-binary and produces asexually? In which case, did Godzilla lay an egg and forget about it?
But okay, I don't know much about asexual birth giving, reproduction. I don't know why I can't think of simple words today. But isn't that more or less like they let go of an arm and then something comes of it?
I mean, that's one way of doing it, and also with clownfish, if the female dies, then one of the male clownfish will turn female. That's not an example of asexual reproduction, but that's a thing that happens. Again... But wait,
it will become a female, and then other males will mate with it?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I didn't know that.
Which puts a different perspective on Finding Nemo.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. But I mean, that's whatever you got to do to propagate your species. That's how nature works. But Godzilla movies have gotten a lot worse about establishing the rules of their universe, and then following any sort of rules that go along with it. Like my favorite move that Godzilla does, the rock kicking.
Yeah.
Suddenly it's no longer effective, and the mantis played soccer with the ball, and it's no longer his main weapon. Now it's breath weapons, and which I think is his iconic move moving forward. Is that correct?
Yeah,
okay.
It's pretty it depends on the movie. The older ones are a lot of punching, I've noticed.
Yeah.
But later on it gets more into tails and breath.
Okay.
The newer ones are really good about it.
Okay, actually, I want no spoilers other than I need to know, in the most recent Godzilla movies, does he kick rocks at people? Or at his opponents?
In Godzilla vs. Kong, and I've only seen it one time, he did not kick rocks at Kong.
Oh, fine.
I know, but the fight scenes are so good.
Fair enough.
That you'll be like, okay, I get it. I don't want to ruin anything, but if I ruin anything, just know the fight scenes are fucking amazing. And I hate CGI, but oh my god, are they good?
Hell yeah. I mean, do not get me wrong. I am going to see these movies eventually on full
in order.
Yeah, we're going in order. It's just I'm following the through line of the rock kicking.
there's like I've said before, I didn't even, because it's been so long, I forgot how to intro this.
Oh yeah.
I have seen most of them. Mm-hmm. You have seen none,
yes,
except for the ones we've already seen.
Yeah, you've seen me watch all the ones that I've seen.
Yeah, except for the Matthew Broderick one, which we have to do.
Oh yeah.
But
actually, I should ask you about that. Should that be the one where you watched the day of and I watch it repeatedly and take notes?
If you want.
I mean, it seems only fair.
Most of it. I remember a cousin having it and us watching it growing up, but it's been such a time.
It seems only fair. I got it. I'll take that bullet. I got you, bro.
If you want to do that, cool. Because I wouldn't watch it multiple times like I try to watch these multiple times. Because I would just be like, oh my god, shut the fuck up, shut up. And then in that one they fucking lay egg, whatever.
Yeah, look, I was forged in '90s cringe culture. This is what I was built for. I got this.
This is how boring this movie is that we're talking about other movies.
Oh my god, you're right. I totally fucking forgot.
How do you feel about Baby Godzilla or Minya or Manila, whatever they wind up calling him?
I thought that this was, like... I liked the idea of, like, trying to propagate Godzilla as a species.
Yeah.
I hated how they did it. Godzilla's a horrible parent.
Yeah. Well, and, like, also, again, think of the time. Think of the time.
Fair. That's totally fair.
Think of the time and where it's coming from. This is a post-World War II Japan.
You're
where
right.
you get a job, you get a salary job, and you work.
That's fair. And, like, that was parenting back in that day. You're right.
I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying it's of its time.
Yes. I fully get that. But I will say that the way they handled it raised more questions by a lot than it answered.
Okay.
I'm interested. I'm invested. I want to know more. But I have zero faith that the upcoming movies are going to answer anything about where Baby Godzilla came from.
Yeah.
Or, like, its capabilities, if it's asexual reproduction, or if it has, like, this is traits from its daddy, this is traits from its mommy. And also, Baby Godzilla's a whiny little bitch.
Little bit.
A lot of it.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah. Also, don't forget, this isn't the first Godzilla from the first movie. That Godzilla's dead.
You're right.
So there are other Godzillas out there, and throughout certain times, I believe the next movie that we're going to watch was supposed to be the last one.
Really?
Because there's been several times. Actually, let me double check. I have HBO open. I'm pretty sure the next one fucking rips, dude. The next one's from '69, right?
Hell yeah.
Let me just double check.
You're asking the wrong
something.
dude. I don't. Maybe.
No. I'm saying right, as in like.
Yeah. No, I get you.
The next one is called Destroy All Monsters.
That sounds like an ending.
Yeah, it's from 68, 69. The next one is All Monsters Attack from 69. Then the next one is 71.
Okay, so they took a 2-year break.
There's a point.
Is that when the Toho Heisei changeover happens?
Yes, the last one in this... You want me to tell you the last one in the series? I'm pretty sure?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's either Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla or the Terror of Mechagodzilla.
And, like, that's the thing about Godzilla movies. That could just be two names for the same movie or two different movies. Oh,
I'm sorry. No, it's the Terror. It's Terror of Mechagodzilla. Because it's Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, then the Terror. And then there's Godzilla, the Eurotrash version, which I didn't think was a real movie.
That sounds amazing.
There's a version, which there's a Wang video. I don't know if you watch Wang on YouTube, where it was a version that, like, I'm pretty sure he just covered it recently, where it came out but, like, didn't come out, and it, like, doesn't really count, but it does.
Okay.
And
so
then there's...
it's like the Friday the 13th reboot that they did?
I guess. Then there's... On IMDb, I'm just looking at all of them.
Mm-hmm.
It's Terror of Mechagodzilla. Then it's Eurotrash. Then it's Godzilla, the TV show from 78 in America. And I'm only saying it's in America because one of the characters are a black dude, and I doubt that shit would fly in Japan. And they have, like, a baby Godzilla in it, but he's, like, a bright green. And then it's Godzilla 85. And then it's Heisei. And then Heisei era. 85, Biollante, Godzilla 2, War of the Monsters. What the fuck?
I mean, it sounds like we're going to be watching shit that you haven't seen soon, and I'm excited for that.
Like then there's Godzilla versus King Ghidorah, which is a great poster. Godzilla and Mothra battle for Earth. Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla 2. Space Godzilla, Destroya. Like, yeah, the Heisei era gets wild.
I'm excited. And again, here we are talking about anything
other
else
movies.
But this movies. Oh
yeah, like that's the problem with this one is that like.
So, just to get it out of the way, quick plot breakdown. There's a plane.
No, there is no plot. People are on an island. They're trying to change the weather. A woman shows up.
Oh
they
my God,
leave the island. There's no plot to this movie.
You're right. There.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this is a bad movie. I'm just saying there's no plot to this movie. I still love Godzilla. Like,
yeah, no,
does not change the fact that I love my big lizard man. Like, yeah. I just, there's nothing going on. I'm here to watch. There is no interesting human element. And most of the movies have some sort of a decent human element.
See, that's the thing, though. This one does have a few interesting things. It's just never delivered upon.
No. I disagree.
Okay, come on. That entire through line of the guy who had been there for 3 months and, like, is losing his goddamn mind. Like, going insane on this island that is hostile to him. And, like, fucking, he's losing his mind. His brain is broke. When he gets a fever, his only thought is of violence.
I'm so out of it that I just don't care.
Fair, like,
you know what I mean? Like, and I'm not trying to discredit you.
No,
I'm not trying to say you're wrong. I just don't give a fuck.
You're not wrong, because here's the thing. I want to like these movies. Yeah. Desperately want to like these movies. I will find whatever I can to like about these movies. Like, even like God damn it, what was my least favorite one so far? It wasn't this one. I did actually like this one more than... Fuck. Man, I gotta start keeping track of these things. I can't just watch them and let them go out of my brain immediately.
You should, what do you call it? You should start a letterbox.
Right.
You should.
But yeah, like, the humans are on screen for so fucking long, I had to find something. And watching the plight of this dude... Because, like... They definitely tried to have some form of plot happening. They gave themselves adversities to overcome as humans.
Yeah.
Unrelated to the giant monsters that are happening. And then they didn't deliver on any of them. Like, the guy just gets better.
But, like, that's the thing is, like, I watched it the one time, don't remember it, watched it the second time, fell asleep, watched it with the sound off, and felt like I got a better experience, if not the same experience.
I mean, the only thing you didn't get out of the sound off experience is learning that our main hero, the journalist, his name is Goro, who happens to be my favorite character from Mortal Kombat.
Really?
Really, really.
But, like, I didn't, like, that's the thing is, like, I just didn't fucking, I was more interested in Baby Godzilla's, the son of Godzilla's slapstick, because it was genuinely funny.
Agreed. It was good. It was some pretty good slapstick.
And, like, not even just the genuine slapstick. Like, I was also super into, like, the little things of, like, Godzilla, like, Baby Godzilla just wants to hang out with his dad. Like, him and his dad are, like, cuddling when they're trying to fill up the canisters of red warm juice or whatever the hell it's called.
The red warm water.
Whatever.
Yeah, no. Like, do not get me wrong. The human plot had many problems. Specifically, in no particular order, the fact that the only woman in this entire movie happens to be magical, but not. Like, her entire purpose is there to be eye candy and to move the male hero types from one place to another. And, like, that's her purpose. And it's boring.
Yeah.
It's very boring. Like, the only reason that they needed to get the red warm water is so we could have the scene with Godzilla and Baby Godzilla, which was great. But they could have definitely done it better than just like, oh, I know of cure for this thing that has only happened once to these people this one time. Like, this movie is full of setups that are not delivered upon, and, like, they were heavily relying on their title character of Godzilla to carry it, which he does.
Yeah.
But, like, holy crap, is it obvious that they're relying on that.
Yeah, it's like I have like let me run through my notes and see if you agree with me on anything. You ready?
Yeah, let's do this.
The spider's fucking awesome.
Hell yeah.
I have here Zilla and Sons Pest Control.
Right.
Suplexing bugs, atomic torching bugs, kicking rocks, child abandonment, first woman. Let's just...
I will say one of the most bizarre things in this movie was the should I fuck that moment that Godzilla was happening with that spider's mouth right before he got...
Oh, yeah! Like, that was some weird, like, 70s snuff film shit.
Kinda. It looked like it looked like Godzilla was looking at this fucking spider's mouth, thinking it might be a vagina.
He's like, should I risk it all? Like, dude, what the fuck? You got one kid you don't want to take care of.
Right? And then he got stabbed in the eye for his troubles.
Dude, and how about we should just go invade this woman's home who lives in the cave? And she's like, okay, like, what?
Yeah. Oh my god, yeah. Like, oh my god. And she's cool with it. Like, this entire...
Reiko?
I think that's...
I have Reiko is fucking insufferable.
Oh my god.
Dude, the snow fight at the end is awesome. The snow fight at the end is great. Like, that last 10, 15 minutes, that fight is what? It's so good. And then at the end, when they hug each other and they just freeze, because, again, like, if it did anything right with the humans, it was like, humans once again have fucked up nature. If Godzilla is supposed to be an allegory for nature, humans have once again fucked up nature by playing God and making it snow on an island where Godzilla doesn't know how to handle this. So he hugs his son, and then...
they go into hibernation because they're cold-blooded.
They just go to bed.
Presumably, they're still lizards and they are cold-blooded. Like, that was the science that made sense to me. What didn't make sense is why this scientist thought it might be a good idea. Because, like, okay, so the process that they went through, first of all, like, the first time they do it, they bring about, like, they talk about using radiation to affect the weather and, like, iodine sulfite or something. And, like, the first time they do it, it brings about, like, an insufferable summer. It makes it so much hotter on the island that plants start wilting. And then the next time they do it, it brings about an ice age. They did nothing different. They did the exact same thing, nothing different. Speaking
of this, I just because I thought of this now, on a recent episode of Atomic Radio Hour, I read a essay that I had to do for a class when I was looking for something to like do on the show, and I meant to tell you this, and it totally slipped my mind. I found a script that I wrote for a monster movie that I was trying to write when I was like 13.
Hell yes!
And I wanted to read it.
Send it to me.
On here. No, I want to read it. I want to read it on the show.
But also send it to me.
Okay, I will. But yeah, just like, and I think because we're talking about writing, that's where my mind kind of is. Yeah. But yeah, sorry, that's gonna be maybe the next episode, another like slow episode where the plot isn't great. I'm gonna do that.
Yeah,
because the next one fucking rips.
Hell yeah, yeah. The next time we have like a bummer of a movie that we just had to watch, we should just review your 13-year-old script instead.
It's like 8 pages. Like, I didn't really get into it, but like it's.
Hey, like, I imagine that there was more on those 8 pages than there was for this script. And I want to go back to the science of what just happened. Okay, because like the first time they did it, they boil the ocean essentially, right? The second time they did it, they freeze the ocean around a tropical island. Now, the water, like regular water, freezes at 32 degrees Fahrenheit, or negative 32 degrees Fahrenheit. 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah. Ocean water, because it's salty, freezes at 28.4 degrees Fahrenheit. And to create and like that's just for something to freeze slowly, like you have to hold it at there. For something to flash freeze, has to be like trending towards absolute zero, which there's no way they didn't fuck up the entire environment by that one experiment. Like
Sogo Island, I believe it's called.
Yeah, is that what eventually becomes Monster Island? I have written down here. Is this Monster Island? Like I have it just written like because I don't know. Didn't deliver on. Great. But that's the thing is I don't remember where Monster Island shows up, and I have a feeling it shows up in the Heisei era. Okay. Just because I think there was a gap of time, and they were like, we need to make this kind of more concrete. I could be wrong. I do not fucking know. Yeah, you're never going to convince me that the writers of Godzilla give any sort of shit about continuity. You're never going to convince me of that. I think the first two, I think they did. Yeah, the first two I think they did, and then they have like mini-series. There's a list out there of the ways you could watch these movies in a different order, because like these 3 are a different story where Godzilla's the bad guy, and these 5 are where he's the good guy, and this one is like if you watch these in this order, this is the Ghidorah story, and this is the Mothra trilogy without their own movies. Like, okay.
like, there's a bunch of different ways to watch these, and I just kind of wanted to watch them the way they were put out. I kind of thought, all right, I was a kid in 54, I saw the first one, loved it, and I watched it my whole life. Like, that's how I want to watch these.
Okay, yeah, no, that makes sense.
So, I don't know, dude. I have nothing to say. Like, I have nothing to say about this movie anymore.
Yeah, it is, like, for the people who watch the show, fully worth watching this movie. Fucking do it. It's
for the backdrops, the destruction scenes. The destruction scenes are he stomps on that building and it blows up and it's awesome.
So good. Yeah, like, this movie is fully watchable. Just, you don't have to watch it with sound is the thing. Like,
yeah, there's a really fun game you could play that if you put on a tennis match. You mute the sound, you go every time they hit the ball. You could kind of do this with that.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
With this movie, you could just be like, we need to find the woman. There she is. Like,
right, the woman that we don't believe exists. Actually, there was one interesting thing that I wanted to ask you about.
Sure.
You had previously brought up that the way they made Godzilla's roar was by taking a glove and rubbing it down a cello.
Something like that. I think it's an old leather glove, and they rubbed it against the cello or some sort of a large string instrument.
Yeah, the baby Godzilla had a similar sound to him, but like, did they do the violin? Like, how did they make baby
Couldn't tell
Godzillas?
you. I didn't even think about it.
Oh, okay. Well, I know that they used a donkey noise for his fucking temper tantrum, because, spoilers, he has a temper tantrum.
Well, we're in the spoiler territory, homie. It's all good. Yeah, donkey noise. Like, this is... I love Godzilla. And I've said this enough in this episode already. I love it. It's just... This is fucking... The human plot sucks. The human plot sucks.
Yeah, this movie... This is the first one that actually tested whether, like, how much I like Godzilla. You know?
Really?
Like, yeah. And, like, again, not my least favorite.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't like racist brown people in this one.
Yeah, I think I believe it's Godzilla versus King Kong that is my least favorite. I think.
Really?
I think it's just something about the racist brown face and also King Kong having a problem. Though funny, it's just like, do we need? Yeah. Is that necessary? This is full of a lot of, is that necessary?
I sound like a broken record to this part. The Godzilla parts, wonderful.
Yeah.
The human parts, I don't fucking care.
How difficult would it be to, like, release a fan edit of this movie?
I mean, you could edit it and then just put it anywhere.
Okay, so, like, my understanding is...
Like, you couldn't put it on YouTube. They would take it down instantly. But you could put it on, like, Vimeo, or you could put it on, like, a file-sharing site. There's James Rolfe made a video about how he edited together both Kill Bill movies into one. And it's out there. I just don't know how to find it.
Fair. That probably means there's a Grindhouse cut out there.
Yeah, there's probably like a website like Grindhouse something or like faneditmovies.uk or some shit. And
it's been a hot minute since I've had to pirate anything.
But like, if nobody's making money off of it and it's being done for fan purposes, I don't see a problem with doing it. I really don't.
It's my understanding that so long as if I were to make a fan edit, so long as I am not doing it for profit, like, I'm not making any money off this, I just wanted to do it for fun, and I make sure that everyone is credited where credit is due, then I should legally be allowed to do it, but, like, copyright law is terrifying. So,
did you ever see the movie Be Kind, Rewind?
No, it's been on my list. I know the premise, and it sounds awesome. It's
like a going out of business video store, so they can't get the movies or something, so they just reenact the movies themselves, and people love it more than the original movies.
Yeah, it's for the way I remember it being described is they accidentally delete all of their VHS, so they have to go back and do something called sweeting, like Swedish, because back in the day, I don't know what day, but back in like early filmmaking days, it was common for Swedish filmmakers to take a popular thing, reshoot it in Swedish, shot for shot.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and just release it. Like
there's no
shit. There's a Swedish cut or a Sweded cut of Star Wars out there. Like a lot of Ukrainian cinema is just Sweded. Yeah, like it's a thing that people like. It's a tradition of doing that. And this movie, like, and Be Kind Rewind, I believe is supposed to be a love letter to that culture.
Cool.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. I remember seeing the movie once like when it first came out a long time ago, and Mos Def is in it.
Rock on. And Jack Black, right?
Yeah.
Wait, Mos Def. Hold on. Why? I know that name. Why can't I pull up a face? Why
Black
can't
Star,
my brain?
Black on Both Sides, Miss Fat Booty.
Is he the guy in Evolution that got shoved up the butthole?
What?
Did you ever see the movie Evolution with David Duchovny?
No.
Oh, it's a great movie. You'd like it.
From 2001?
Yeah, I believe so. Fairly recent. It was after X-Files ended, and David Duchovny was like, "Hey, I don't have to give a shit anymore."
No, black dude. It's got like a smiley face with 3 eyes.
Yeah. The guy I'm talking about also played. I can't.
No, Mos Def's a rapper.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, this dude does not look like Mos Def.
Okay. But not a rapper like the RZA, who's just been in movies a lot recently.
No. This like Mos Def is like a very conscious, like. No, this dude's like one of the top MCs like of all time. Not that the RZA isn't. The RZA's great. The RZA's. I love Wu-Tang, but like
Wu-Tang forever. Actually, fun fact. Since we're talking about movies, not Godzilla, I did see Nobody in theaters.
Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, I hate going to an empty theater.
I wish it was fucking empty.
I don't know Nobody.
Nobody. It was a bizarre experience because it's basically.
Wait, you went to a theater recently?
Yeah.
What the new one?
The new one.
The one that we saw Joker and the one that closed down and then reopened?
No.
Oh.
No. The new one. It's the same owner. He's just going to reopen.
Is it really? I fucking knew it. I called it.
Yeah.
Because I saw that it was owned by different people now, though.
Then I must have read something different. Because I thought it was...
I knew it. That cheap motherfucker. I knew it.
I will read into this before we start fucking lighting the torches. I'm gonna read more into it. Because I also don't give a shit about it, so I will skim headlines. But Nobody is like, it is the midlife crisis movie of Generation X. Like, it might as well be called Generation X. Your midlife crisis begins now. It is not good.
Really?
Well, okay. I should say it is made up of the best parts of other movies that did it better.
Yeah.
And do not get me wrong, there are some fun moments in this movie, but it's also full of a whole bunch of really, really specific wish fulfillment.
I just can't see Bob Odenkirk as John Wick.
Yeah. It's not.
You're gonna tell me Saul Goodman can fucking kick in a door and shoot people, and I don't mean to typecast the guy, because he's great in that. And actually, as we've been talking, I've been trying to find on HBO the list of Godzilla movies, because that IMDb list is not helping me right now.
Fair.
And I saw Mr. Show, and apparently Mr. Show is one of the funniest. Did you ever see there's no number higher than 27 or 37 or something?
No.
It's so dumb that it's funny. It's these mobsters that are like, there's no number higher than 37. And then the guy gets food dropped off. He goes, how much is it going to be? He goes, $42.50. And they all look over at the mob boss like, what the fuck? It's just dumb. It's just funny because it's dumb. But I've never heard a bad thing about Mr. Show. It's something I'm going to watch. and Bob Odenkirk and David Cross are in it. So I can't see Bob Odenkirk. Bob Odenkirk's like responsible for Tim and Eric's rise.
I did not like Tim and Eric.
You don't like Tim and Eric?
No. Like, there are certain styles of comedy that just do not speak to me.
Really?
Yeah, like, anything Tim and Eric was not very funny to me. And also Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Like, clearly I am in the minority about Aqua Teen Hunger Force. But, like, I can...
Marcus.
It's just not funny.
Oh my god. You don't like Aqua Teen?
Nah.
Oh, you're hurting me, dude.
Sorry, bruh. Like, I don't know what to tell you. And again, I'm in the minority, which means I'm likely wrong. But it just...
Well, don't say that. Don't say a minority of people is wrong.
Fair.
But
I'm
still,
in the minority on this subject.
I fucking...
Like, do not get me wrong. Like, there was definitely a thing that Aqua Teen Hunger Force... related to Aqua Teen Hunger Force that I thought was hilarious.
Which was?
It was... I do not know the name of the character. He's that evil scientist guy with the head... with the...
Yeah. He has, like, nothing to do with the show. He's, like, in the beginning of the episode and then never again.
Yep. Which is probably why he's funny.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a scene where he had decapitated Space Ghost, and he was pulling on Space Ghost's mask over his thing. It's like, I am now this... And, like, without removing Space Ghost's head from the mask. Yeah. That was hilarious.
But did you like Space Ghost? Did you like Brack? Did you like Harvey Birdman?
Yeah, I loved all of those.
Ah, dude.
It's totally different humor, though.
Yeah, Space Ghost. The first season of Space Ghost can be hard to watch, though.
Space Ghost
can be
Coast
really
to Coast?
hard. Yeah, it can be really hard to watch. It's so slow.
Well, yeah, it's an experiment, though. Like, that was the beginning.
Oh, yeah. One of my favorite jokes is Zorak goes, every time I move this arm, the Cartoon Network has to pay $39. I think that's so funny.
Actually, the only episode that I remember is the episode that was on the VHS for The Mask with Jim Carrey, where Space Ghost interviews Jim Carrey.
What?
Yeah. This is the shit that used to happen in the 90s on VHS. Is they
Get
would put
the fuck out of here. I do not remember that.
Oh yeah, and like the thing is, you could probably find it on fucking YouTube. What the hell am I saying? But like, it was just an extra special thing that they did on the VHS. Is they had an interview of Jim Carrey getting interviewed with Space Ghost on Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
There's a. We'll get back to Godzilla in just a second because we got to wrap this. But is a See how fucking we talked about all the good shit. It's all the fights. There is an E3 2007 or 2006 interview with Todd Howard right after they released Oblivion and right before they released Fallout 3, where he gets interviewed by Space Ghost. And
all right.
Nobody fucking ever told me about it, and I remember finally going, these are like two of my favorite things, Fallout and Space Ghost, and nobody told me.
I was not aware that this was a thing. That sounds awesome.
And it was like an E3 thing that like the footage of it's like not great. It's like 480, like it's just
I mean, footage from a con, but like that sounds actually that sounds specifically targeted for our generation. Is what that is. Like, that is...
I could talk about the influence of Space Ghost for fucking hours, dude.
That's a different episode. We got to bring it back. Okay.
What would you give this movie?
Well, first of all, who was your General Clinton?
Baby Godzilla.
Rock on. Mine was our main protagonist with the yellow shirt. Goro.
Who has the red shirt, and then he gets called a woman for having it?
Is that
so he goes, I'm not a woman, here you go, take it.
That is definitely in the sub, not the dub.
Really?
Yeah, I believe so. But yeah, Goro, the guy I'm talking about, his name is Goro. Actually, the one character whose name I've learned. Thank you very much. Yeah. He's my General Clinton for this movie.
I don't even think his name's Goro in the Japanese, in the subbed version.
I have no idea.
It's like this,
It was the one thing cool about him, and I latched onto it. I needed something.
My mom, who, like I said before, has introduced me to these movies, I met her for lunch one day when I was still living in Pennsylvania, and she told me that she couldn't sleep, and she turned the TV on, and she put it to, I think Comet is a channel that's been playing a lot of Godzilla stuff, And she told me, she goes, I was watching one last night and it was bad. And I was like, yeah, which one? She goes, Godzilla had like a little Godzilla running around with him. I go, oh yeah. Yeah, that's from like 60 something. I said, it's bad. That one's fucking awful. Like,
is bad.
Is bad. The only time that I can even think of Mini Godzilla or Manila or whatever showing up ever again is there's a Dreamcast Godzilla game where the whole point of the game is to just destroy things. It looks really neat, but you can play as Godzilla, Mini Godzilla, another Godzilla character, and then like a scientist. But like you're a giant scientist destroying things. Like he's just... He exists. Cool. And then like wait till you see what Mini Godzilla looks like later. Like they change his character design, which they change Godzilla's character design every now and again, but wait. Like...
Yeah, I'm going to be a little disappointed in the next movie when Godzilla doesn't have an eye patch. I'm not going to lie.
I think Mini Godzilla shows up in the next few movies here and there, but there's a point where he kind of drops off, I'm pretty sure, and then he comes back and he looks like a fucking anime figure. Like, wait till we get there, because it's so jarring.
Fair enough.
But, what would you rate this?
I would rate this movie... It's difficult because, like, this is a great movie mashed together with a terrible movie.
Yeah.
So I'm probably going to give this my lowest rating ever of 6 bizarrely outdoor kitchens out of 10.
I want to give it, like, 5.6 red shirts intended for men and or women out of
unisex
10.
Red shirts?
Well, no. Apparently not in this movie.
Fair.
Apparently a red shirt is only, like... It's...
Okay. Can we talk about real quick how...
Sure.
There was a whole scene about, like, he gave her his shirt.
And now they're in love?
And now suddenly she wears pants.
Yeah! Yeah, where the fuck you get pants from, girl? Like...
Yeah, in your size? Which one of these scientists is wearing women's pants in 1960s Japan?
Dude, maybe Japan in the 60s had a larger drag scene than we understood.
Maybe. And, like, so integral to their culture that they have to, like, bring out their drag culture to their work site, where they're contracted to work for, like, presumably years at a time.
Fucking...
Which... That sounds awesome. I actually want to learn more about that. Anyway.
You know what? Saying that out loud makes me think of the pirates. Like, pirates would just have sex with each other.
Sounds about right.
Because they were just by themselves for vast amounts of time. Maybe that's what was going on. One dude would dress up.
Entirely possible. Like, that was the whole thing in ancient Greece, I believe. Relationship between two men was viewed as more true love than a relationship between a man and a woman. Like, men and women sleeping with each other was purely for procreation.
For real?
For real. Which...
Wow.
Yeah, which is why if you read about the Trojan Wars and, like, or if you read the Iliad and all that shit, like, Achilles going apeshit over losing his man friend makes a little bit more sense.
Wow.
Because they were actually in love. Anyway.
Damn, everybody bisexual in the back in the day. All right, we got to get out of here.
Yes. We can talk about gay culture all day and have it be more interesting than this fucking movie, but we gotta get moving. You, the viewer, have shit to do, I'm sure.
Could you do me a favor, Marcus?
What you need, homeboy?
Just out of curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
Could you go back to the older episodes and just write down your reviews and keep like a little notepad of what your reviews are?
Can do, sir.
Just because you said this was going to be your lowest one and you were starting to forget about the other ones and stuff. So I was just curious if we could get like a list, and then I'll compile mine at some point, and we can keep like an updated. That's a lot of work, but yeah, sure. Like at some point we can say like
I'm doing get fucked.
Oh, actually, what do you mean?
I said it's not what I'm doing.
No, I know, but I'm saying at the end of the Showa era, maybe we can say like these are our favorites.
Ooh, yeah.
And then we can say like at the end of the Heisei era, these are our favorites, and go from there. It's just an idea. But
yeah, actually, that's not a bad idea.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
There's links in the description to socials. While you're there, check out the Discord. Once again, plugging that. I've been streaming on Twitch. Come check that out. Thank you again to the Paytreon. There should be a blurb somewhere in the beginning, a little cutscene thingy in the beginning for Patreon. Thank you. If you want to check out Redbubble, we have some designs in some capacity on Redbubble. Check that out. Do you have anything you'd like to say, friend?
Nah, you can find me on the Discord sometimes. Cool. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. It's good to be back in this seat.
Yeah. Once I get this out, we'll work out a schedule and try to get back on track.
Yeah. Moving tends to fuck things up.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Who knew?
First time for everything.
Party on, Wayne.
Party on, Garth. A Ghoulman Entertainment production.